Hey, what's up, guys? This is Jag from Jaggy Sports, and yes, rumors, but it's starting to make a little bit more sense here. And let's start off with the first rumor. We have, I think everybody knows this because I said it last week. Ben Simmons to Sacramento is actually heating up now, lots. Now, the deal with that is, well, let me explain it in a bit here. The second rumor is Jeremiah Grant to Detroit. Now, that's the second rumor. Third rumor is the Lakers are looking to make a move. And at first I didn't believe it. I was like, okay, like it can't be that big, right? They don't even have that many pieces to move. They have no flexibility. Their contracts are rigid as hell. Their cap is rigid as hell. How the hell can you make that? Until I listen to this. Sabonis is a major focal point for the Kings, but Athletic believes that Ben Simmons' deal is front and center right now.
Russ! Throw it down! Throw it down, Russ! Down the middle he goes!
Over the top of Gobert. Oh, wow, that's just a monster dunk by Russell Westbrook. He looked back at Rudy Gobert and had some words. That was so play.
That right there is a poster dunk. It's a facial. Do they still make posters, by the way? I don't know. But I agree with Frank Vogel, who called it a hell of a play. I agree with LeBron James, who used words like explosive, electrifying, phenomenal. Russell Westbrook's dunk last night was all that in a bag of chips. But for everything it was, it did nothing to change what my man Irvin Magic Johnson tweeted 2 nights ago. That, in effect, enough is enough with this underachieving Lakers team. That the organization, and Jeannie Buss in particular, deserve better. Now, LeBron apologized, and you know he took it to heart. But Magic didn't say anything about LeBron. Didn't say anything LeBron didn't already know. Didn't already sense himself. Last night's win over the Jazz was a positive response to Magic Johnson's words. Seeing the Lakers step up and knock off a good Jazz team 2 nights after getting blown out by the Denver Nuggets was a step in the right direction. But it ain't enough. Because this has happened all season long for the Lakers. Good games, follow bad games, follow mediocre games, lacking effort. No consistency to be found. It's why they're a 500 team. Over halfway through the season. One game, one play doesn't resolve any of that. Change has to come to this Lakers team. And change will come before the deadline. Trust me on that. It's going to be even bigger and louder than Westbrook's dunk. Be clear on that one. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.
LeBron James and the Lakers, they were hosting the Jazz across the street, Tim Legler. It was an interesting matchup here. I want to pick it up, though. Let's go to the second quarter because the Lakers are up 4 here. LeBron James brings the ball up the floor, stops, pops. You know it's good, Tim Legler.
You got to live with that if you're the Jazz. What are you going to do? LeBron would walk up 3. That's the shot you want him to take, but he was feeling it.
But are you going to live with this? We need to see that again and again and again because he just took flight there.
That's going to be a nightmare for Rudy Gobert for a while. And I'm happy for Russ. Russ has taken so much heat this season, man. I'm happy. Even if he got a tech, he didn't care. We didn't care. Beautiful to see.
That's a tech that you eat. So the Lakers were up 6 at the halftime, but then early in the fourth, they're down 9 here. LeBron James all the way to the hoop.
LeBron has been working a lot smarter instead of harder. I love these small back cuts, working from the pinch post and posting up on the block, and it's really got this team going.
Well, and then you have Stanley Johnson hitting Avery Bradley for the corner three. So the Lakers role players, they were really stepping up in this game. I know we just showed a Stanley Johnson pass, but he had 10 of his 15 points in the fourth, and then this was just icing on the cake. And Russ Westbrook, he's going to let the fans and his team know it. Here's LeBron James after the game.
When you sent out that tweet making that promise, what did you say to the team, or what did you have in mind to say to the team?
I didn't say anything to the team. It's my accountability, holding accountability for myself and my teammates. I didn't say anything to the guys. Talk can be cheap at times. You just got to go out and have action. We all understood that our effort and energy wasn't where it needed to be. In the Denver game, in the second half of the Memphis game, and then whatever the other game we lost. But we weren't giving maximum effort, so. That starts with me as a leader of the team and just taking the onus, letting Laker Nation know it wasn't about anybody, it was about our fans and the people that ride and die for the Lakers every single day. Let them know that I got this and it wouldn't happen again.
Lakers had given up over 128 points per game during their three-game losing streak, which was the worst in the league, but allowed just 95 points to the Jazz last night. That's the fewest points they've allowed in over a month. So the Lakers, they got the win, but Tim, you weren't necessarily convinced that things have turned around here. What did you see from the Lakers?
Yeah, listen, much needed win, but let's keep it in perspective. I think that was the worst I saw Utah play all year. I mean, they had 4 threes, they didn't shoot the ball well, and then they had key breakdowns at the wrong time. And look, if you're going to get contributions out of your role players at the right time, Lakers got it last night. Stanley Johnson was huge in the fourth quarter. And I just want to talk about, this is a critical possession. I think the biggest possession of the game, just to give people an idea, an anatomy of a play. And how does it happen that you get this sort of breakdown here at the end by the part of the Utah Jazz? Now, first, take a look right here. Now, this is LeBron James. And you want to know what it's like to be a superstar in the NBA? This is what it looks like in late game possessions, all right? You got 4 guys loaded up on this side of the lane, ready to give help. LeBron sort of sees that. It is right now a one-possession game. It's 92-89, 2.5 minutes to go. So he decides he's just going to take the jump shot. As this ball goes up, here's what happens. Rudy Gobert is taught to just go get it. So he's watching the flight of the basketball. The problem is, so is Royce O'Neal. And when he does that, he does not get what he needs to, which is a chip right here on Stanley Johnson. If he gets a chip, Rudy Gobert gets the ball, the Jazz come down with a chance to potentially tie the game. It doesn't happen. So what happens instead, take a look at the free run that Stanley Johnson gets to this basketball. And now, Matt knows this, offensive rebounds, you've now got chaos on your hands. So when this ball gets kicked out to the corner, Utah, once again, they're looking at LeBron, and take a look at where everybody's eyes are. Rudy Gobert obviously providing help at the edge of the lane, but everybody else on the floor is doing the same thing, and the key is this. Donovan Mitchell is watching the action here. He's keeping his eyes on this part of the lane, and when you get a flash by Stanley Johnson right to the middle, the problem is Donovan Mitchell reacts to that, and now you're going to get Avery Bradley float to the corner. So when that offensive rebound took place, you see Royce O'Neal's in no man's land. No one's really guarding anybody except for on the ball. And as a result, you get this flash. Mitchell reacts to it. You've got 4 guys in the lane, and now you get this simple float to the corner by Avery Bradley. Great job by Stanley Johnson finding him, hits him in rhythm, hits him in the cradle. Huge shot. So now, when you've got Russell Westbrook, you've got LeBron James, how nice it is and a luxury to get role players help determine the game. And Stanley, they don't win the game without what Stanley Johnson did in the fourth quarter of this game. And Avery Bradley obviously stepping up with the 3, gives the Lakers a much-needed win. But let's not think overnight they turned into the bad boys Pistons defensively.
But, Matt, you chose them as your team of the night, if you will. So do you agree with that assessment from Lex?
Agreed. One game is not going to switch any kind of mentality or anything. It has to be something they consistently build on. First of all, they need to sign Stanley Johnson for the season. He's one of the young, hungry guys that they just don't have it. They have an older team. This team all knows they're built for the playoffs. So obviously, not saying that they're on cruise control, but they kind of are. But not understanding these new guys. LA is a daily conversation for the Lakers. You know what I mean? So if you're at 500 at this point in the season, you're going to be talked about. But I know this team is gearing up and ramping up towards the playoffs. But they have to understand there is some importance during the regular season. We're waiting for AD to get healthy. We're waiting for their chemistry of their big 3 to get on. But again, this team is built for the playoffs. So I think as long as they're healthy, they're going to have a chance still.
Well, you mentioned the magic words, healthy, and Anthony Davis, our
Right.
Dave McMenamin, reported that hopefully on this road trip that they're going on, that's when the Lakers are targeting for him to finally make his return. And the Lakers, they face Indiana tomorrow night, but then they go on their longest road trip of the season. It's 6 games away from home. It takes them through Orlando, Miami, Brooklyn, Philly, Charlotte, Atlanta. This is the Grammys
Grammy
road trip.
trip, yeah,
It's the Grammys
that.
trip, even without
Yeah.
the Grammys. It's the
Right.
Grammys trip, if you will.
So, Stephen A. Smith, welcome back. I think we all heard you when the Dallas Cowboys lost. Basically, yeah. So, Stephen A. Smith is saying that this upcoming trade for the Lakers is going to be bigger than Westbrook's dunk. Now, what does Stephen A. Smith know? Because, you know, for a guy that with all that following and on ESPN and everything like that, for him to be wrong like that, that's just not, like, it doesn't make any sense. So, like, obviously he said it for a reason. What does Stephen A. Smith know? Because he clearly knows something. You know what I mean? Like, I don't shoot my mouth off and knowing that, like, I haven't done my research. I haven't looked into who's telling these rumors. You know, these rumors are from credible sources. They don't come from just some Joe blow-off in the internet kind of thing like that. This is legit rumors. And, you know, he could be right. He could be right. Lakers are looking to make a significant move. I don't know what that is. Going to be bigger than Westbrook's dunk. We'll see about that. So, yeah, no, let's just take a look at that. In the next couple of weeks, something's going to happen, less than 1 month away from the trade deadline. So let's go back to the Ben Simmons deal. Now, Ben Simmons hates Philadelphia 76ers. And I'm pretty sure the 76ers hate his guts. Right? Like, you know, he doesn't want to play, yada, 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 whatever. Let's get past this and let's actually get on to the 76ers making a push for the Eastern Conference Finals. You know, like, they've been playing well as of late, even though Miami Heat is the team that everyone should be talking about. They're looking to clinch #1 spot, but that's for another discussion for another time. So we have 76ers are looking to unload Tobias Harris and Ben Simmons. Now, Atlanta, the proposed trade was Atlanta sends John Collins in exchange for Ben Simmons, and this is where the deal broke down. The deal broke down is because Daryl Morey wanted to include Tobias Harris, and the Atlanta GM didn't want that because his cap would go skyrocketing. So that's becoming more unlikely. Now let's take a look at the Sacramento side. Sacramento wants to make a deal. They want to make a deal with Sabonis from Indiana, and rumor has it that the Indiana Pacers want like an all-star and a couple picks. So in Sacramento wants to get that deal done. However, they also want to get the Ben Simmons deal done first, or I mean more, right? So it's kind of like, which one do you choose? And Sacramento is leaning towards getting the Ben Simmons deal done. So I think this is going to happen. Sacramento Kings haven't made the playoffs in like 15 years. Their investors, shareholders, their fan base is getting very upset. If I was a Sacramento fan, or if I live in Sacramento, I'd be pissed. You know, like, you haven't done anything. You have a seat for the Sacramento Kings on the draft lottery bench. That's how bad it is. You know, like, they're there every freaking year, and it's messed up. So look for Sacramento to actually push for this deal. This deal, I believe, will get done. So Sacramento receives Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris in exchange for Who the hell knows? Picks. I'm guessing it's Buddy Hield. I'm guessing it's Halliburton. Marvin Bagley, maybe. I don't know. But this deal is going to get done. In my opinion, it's going to get done. Second rumor is Jeremiah Grant. Now, Jeremiah Grant, he broke his hand or did something to his hand. He was out. Now he's actually resuming practice plays and whatnot, so he'll be ready for sure. What's going to happen is he's going to get traded to Detroit. And Detroit is the most likely candidate to land him. And the Washington Wizards, or sorry, not Detroit, Washington, Jeremiah Grant will land in Washington. Now, Washington is where his father grew up. And basically, I don't know what they would want in return because it's a final year of his contract. He pretty much says he wants to be the primary scoring option, which is fine. Like, you know, it's Washington. Now, I assume, I think that this is going to happen. Washington will send Montrezl Harrell because Montrezl Harrell, his name has been coming up as a trade option because of his contract. He can opt out of his contract. So Montrezl Harrell would go in that trade, but also Kyle Kuzma. Now, Kyle Kuzma is from Flint, Michigan, and he would love to play back home. Like, he would love to go back home. So look for Kyle Kuzma to be involved in this trade. So Jeremiah Grant would head to Washington in exchange for Montrezl Harrell and Kyle Kuzma. And I'm guessing maybe a pick. I'm not 100% sure if that would work, just because of the fact that Jeremiah Grant is in his final year of his contract. So there's no reassurance that he's going to re-sign with Washington. So we don't know that. But no. So to sum it up, the trades goes a little bit something like this. We have Jeremiah Grant to Washington, Kyle Kuzma and Montrezl Harrell to Detroit, Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris to Sacramento, and who the hell knows would go to Philly. I'm guessing it's Buddy Hield, Halliburton, and Marvin Bagley, and maybe another pick or two. So we'll see. This is Jag Maggot and Jaggy Sports.